Hello and welcome to Dr. VGP Talk Show. Global Eye team is here to cover two historic conventions taking place at the same city, Philadelphia, where all of you all are familiar with the land of the Great Bell. The 23rd National Convention of the Telugu Association of North America, which has attracted over 10 to 15,000 people from all over the country, as well as India. The star-studded convention, along with the 41st Annual National Convention of the American Association of Physicians of India, where there were 3,000 physicians have gathered together. Here we're giving you a peek. We're getting a galaxy of TV bytes from different people, how the conventions of both were held in Philadelphia. Thank you so much. Welcome. We are here at the 41st National Annual Convention of the American Association of Physicians of India at Philadelphia. The GSA Globalized crew is here to give you a quick roundup of the three-day event which concludes on July 9th, 2023. We're very happy to have with us Dr. Kastani from Munster, Indiana, an eminent cardiologist, an active RP member. And we'll introduce Mr. Navin Chandra, who's the Chief Communication Officer of the Global Eye, Mr. Shivam Viswanathan from Global Eye, Chief News Bureau from Chicago. We have with us Dr. SEETA CEO, CEO of Bharat Tech, and SEETA Bala, also from the GSA team. Yeah. So go ahead, Shivam. All
right. Dr. Kastani, the question is for you. What are the main highlights of the 41st AAPI convention this year?
The main highlights is one is the global health issues and how to really translate the physicians of Indian origin in America, in the US, and in India, and in general for physicians and medical students, patients at large. And we discussed a lot of things: preventive health, mental health, and cardiovascular prevention, and cancer, several issues. And at the same time, advocacy. How do you advance the medical education standard and universal health, and how to uplift the standards of the health? There are a lot of people who are impoverished and who don't have access to health, and how we can improve access to health, whether it's by directly involving with them or even just doing indirectly, strengthening and enhancing or empowering their local communities, or doing telemedicine, or working in collaboration with other non-governmental NGOs. So that's one of the main themes. And I think we did discuss that at length and with various experts in the field, industry, and sponsors. I think we had a very good exchange of these views from here and abroad, and even people from Congress, and our congressman was here. So we have people of multiple origins and multiple areas of specialty exchanging the views. And I think it's a very good thing and every year to conduct, because RP provides not only educational activities and preventive activities during COVID, and actually they did enormous job of supplying this oxygen concentrator supplier, and not only that, providing education, how to treat. And we were able to prevent a lot of hospital admissions because we started actually early intervention with steroids. Everybody was scared at that time. Everybody used to ask, oh, there is no evidence for this, we can't do it. We used to tell them, use common sense. There was no disease here. For a disease that never been there, how can you have literature or evidence? So you just go by the common sense of inflammation and coagulation. Attack these two. And actually were able to prevent a lot of the hospital admissions just by doing that. Whereas people were in the hospital, they ended up in intubation, never came out of the ventilator. That was the worst thing to do, intubate them. So that's how AAPI has a big contribution towards not only US health, global health too.
Great, Dr. Kastani, you hit on some wonderful points, highlights. We have with us a corporate giant here, Dr. Krishna Ella, the CEO of Bharat Biotech, which manufactures one of the fifth largest vaccine companies in the world. Dr. Kastani referred to the corporate interaction with AAPI. Would you like to comment on it, Dr. Ella, since you're here?
Oh, yeah. Corporate is also in the social cost. Although we're a vaccine company, we also got social cost of the preventive healthcare, what that AAPI talking about, preventive healthcare. That's our major contribution for preventive healthcare. And I think AAPI has done an amazing job in terms of the vaccination program. Also, AAPI has promoted the vaccination and all the anti-vaccine thinking, all solving some of the problem. When somebody was talking again of the vaccination, they all helped us to put a positive thinking. Science is important, and vaccination is important. I think both on corporate and AAPI always the part. My friend aspect.
Great, lovely to have you both here.
Without corporate, there is no AAPI, because AAPI need the corporate involvement and support, and we only provide some educational or intellectual thing, but the corporate is the one who really supplies the material, vaccine or medicine. And so I think both goes in hand, as you mentioned, like a wife and husband kind of thing.
Yeah, excellent. We're going to hear more from a galaxy of leaders about AAPI, what's new with the 41st convention. Stay tuned. Thank you. We have with us Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parik and Mrs. Parik, leading physicians from the New York tri-state area. As you all know, Dr. Sudhir Parik, a trustee of the AAPI, American Association of Physicians of India, is also has 24 clinics. And not only that, he has become a media mogul today, being the chairman of Sudhir Parik Worldwide Media Inc., which has the News India Times, the Deshi Talk, and also the ITV Gold. Dr. Sudhir Parik, could you tell us, the viewers, what is the highlight of the AAPI convention going on today at Philadelphia?
Well, this is the 41st AAPI convention, and it's very successful, very exciting convention. All the doctors of throughout the country are get together here, and they are exchanging the educational ideas, their idea of how to do the practice, how to manage the practice, and plus we have a lot of good programming like meditation, Sri Ravi Shankar's afternoon lunch, as well as we are going to have Bikasing this evening. So I think it is a great celebration of the AAPI, annual celebration of the AAPI, and I'm being a very senior advisor to the AAPI. I come for all last 41 conventions.
Wow.
Attended, and really I'm very proud of AAPI, and this is a platform where we can empower our second generation doctors to become how to become a successful physician in their career.
Dr. Parik has been attending 41 years, not missed a single annual convention of the American Association of Physicians of India. And Dr. Parik has raised a very important question, that AAPI wants to include the second generation American graduates into the AAPI membership, which is very important for the legacy of AAPI to continue. And thank you so much for joining us today. And Mrs. Parik, would you like to have a word on AAPI and how important for women physicians?
I would like to congratulate whole team of AAPI. They are doing a wonderful job, and we are having great time and fun, along with education, spiritual activity, as well as a lot of entertainment. So I think is doing great job, and every year they continue to be better and better.
Right. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We have with us this evening Srinivasa Gokarkonda, psychiatrist from Arkansas. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, doctor, tell us about what are some of the challenges in the healthcare delivery today?
So that's a good question. Right now, we are facing a lot of challenges because of the healthcare costs. They have raised so much in the last few years. A lot of people can't afford healthcare anymore. Without Medicaid, Medicare, and government provided insurance, it's very difficult for people to access healthcare. So that is a big challenge right now. So giving healthcare access to everyone should be the priority of every government. I think Obamacare has addressed some of that. I think that should continue so that everyone in the country that cannot afford healthcare will be benefited from that.
Okay, thank you.
And Srinivasa Gokarkonda is the AAPI president for the Arkansas chapter.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you so much for being with us this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Good evening. We have with us Dr. Moan Kutty from Munster, Indiana, and he's a cardiologist attending the 23rd TANA conference. Tell us what makes the Telugu community so successful.
Okay, it's the ambitious nature of Telugu people, and they go all over the world. And the migration is in their blood, from villages to the town, from the town to the city, from the city overseas. So they're spread all over the globe now. So that migration and constant search for progress And okay, if I'm a farmer, I want to send my kids to college. I want them to be doctors, engineers. And so that's their urge to make their kids successful. And they sacrifice everything else to make it happen. I think that's one of the main reason why you see so many Indian kids from IT and medical field, entrepreneurship, everything. So I think it's a constant urge and ambition to get success. I think that's the key for that community. And somehow they were very successful from even from 40s, 50s. First initially farming, then education, then business. So they're into every field, and of course even cultural, movies, and all the arts. So they were into every field, and wherever they connect, you see some of the great movie actors like NTR, Nagesh Rao, and some good singers, S.P. Balasubramaniam. There's in every field, in scientists like Dr. Krishna Ella and those people. So there are people in every field and in politics. So that's actually one of the unique character in that community, urge and constant, that belly fire in the belly to get.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohan Kutty, for being with us this evening. Good evening. We are at the 41st AAPI convention as well as the 23rd TANA conference. We have with us Navin Chandrakarna, an IT professional who is an executive director of the American Multi-Ethnic Coalition Inc. He is the chief operating officer of the GSA India at 75 Global, as well as the sequel that is going to be launched in metro cities. Recently, he's also taken over as the chief executive director of the Global I Institute, International Institute of Leadership. Navin, tell us about the leadership courses that the GSA Institute is going to offer.
Thank you, Shweta, for a quick introduction. So I would like to talk a little bit about the Global I Institute Leadership courses which we are planning to do. There are around 6 to 8 courses we are planning. It will be a short course, a week course, and we are bringing a lot of the people who are actually well versed with those subjects, and they are coming to the course and they are going to talk about most of the subjects. Mainly we focused on one of the things, sustainability and mental health, African history, these type of topics we are bringing. And as the first course we are going to launch in October, it's all students across the globe can come and participate on that. So similarly, we want to bring more these type of leadership quality classes to the larger audience and make that happen.
Thank you very much, Navin. Good evening. We have with us this evening Jagas Patel. He's an actor. So at the 41st AAPI convention, tell us what brings you here.
What brings me here? I tell you one thing, सीता जी, कि यहाँ पर आके हिंदी बोलूँ चलेगा?
जी.
यहाँ पे आके बिछड़े हुए भाई भाई मिल जाते हैं, डॉक्टर से डॉक्टर मिल जाते हैं, प्यार से प्यार मिल जाता है, और क्या सबसे बड़ी बात है कि हम देसी लोग हैं. We meet each other and try to get success more than what they have it, and that all about here. 41 years on, is like almost coming to senior citizens. These people, but I tell you, all doctors I met here, too positive, too network oriented. They're learning so much, they're giving knowledge to each other. Doctors, I tell you, all AAPI members, I tell you, they work hard for every time I come here. And as a media guy, as an entertainer, I tell you, these people enjoy more, larger than life. Tell it to AAPI.
So are you going to perform something this evening?
I did volunteer performances for them every time, and this time I'm just doing something for media for them. But they always call me for their local event, their regional event, their personal event. So that's why my obligation to come to meet them here. So it's working.
Thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Hi, we have Seeta Bala from Global Eye. We have the newspaper, we have the YouTube channel, and she is one of the reporters. So we have these two big conventions going on, and you were here for Tana yesterday. So what is your report on Tana?
Oh, yeah, definitely. There are two conventions happening here. One is the Telugu Association of North America, which is celebrating its 23rd convention. And then we have AAPI, which is the American Association Physicians of Indian Origin, which is celebrating the 41st event. And so it was really very, very interesting. Like yesterday, they had an opportunity to meet with the ex-Vice President, Mr. Venkaiah Naidu, and also the Supreme Court Justice, and there were a lot of celebrities here. One of the notable person I remember is, I think, Balaya, they call him, and he was here.
He's
and then
a superstar.
Yeah, I know. And then as I entered the Thana conference, I remember it was fantastic. The decorations, they brought a mini temple of Ganesha, and then there were a lot of decorations. And it gave an introduction to the Telugu culture. And so it was very beautiful. And there was lovely music by the renowned singer Chitra. And then they served a yummy dinner. Those are the things I quickly remember on top of my head. And the RP conference also, we met a lot of doctors. And you tell me what you think about it.
Yeah, so we have this RP conference going on. Today is the last day. It was a 3-day conference. And we met so many very talented, skilled doctors. So many people. It almost looks like a mini India here with RP and Thana going on together. And so we met a lot of people, and we saw Sri Ravi Shankar today. So he took us through a lot of meditation and yoga practices. It was awesome. It was very good. And we have a session in the evening. We have Mika Singh.
Oh, wow.
We have his performance. So yeah, it has been a lot of fun.
Never in my so many years I've seen so many people. Like, I thought there were like 10,000 or 15,000 people. Don't you think so?
Absolutely.
It was like an ocean of people everywhere, and it was a lot of fun.
It was.
We have with us this evening Sejal Mehta, who's a psychiatrist from Dallas. What brings you here?
AAPI convention.
Tell us, like, what has been one or two things that's notable from this convention.
Yes, this is the convention of organization that unites all the physicians in Indian origin in one place. We all come together, network, learn from each other, and get motivated to continue to do more and more and give it back to community.
So what are your couple of takeaways from this AAPI convention?
There are several. First and foremost, it is important that we stay united and everybody stays on the same page as much as possible, so we can continue to make differences in a landscape of healthcare, starting from legislature, policy making, insurance companies, to the patients directly. So at several levels, there are several ways to impact, including incoming medical students who are going to need a lot of help and guidance and mentorship. I think this is a great platform for them.
Thank you so much for your few minutes with us.
Oh, sure, no problem.
Okay, today here we have Navin Chandra Karna. I would like him to introduce himself. Go ahead, Navin.
Now, my name is Navin Chandrakarna. Shortly, Navin Karna is the best way to call. So, I am part of the AMAC organization. I'm as an executive director. I'm also part of the Global CIO role I'm playing with that. Also, actually, I'm now part of the Global I leadership programs, which are actually the part of that organization. So my brief discussion.
Right. So he has been wearing a lot of hats. So let's hear it from you. What are your takes on how did you find AAPI and the Thana conference that's going on?
Sure, as you mentioned, you actually put up most of the things as well. But one thing you missed it. if you go outside of this in the convention center, you see a lot of people, and even when we were coming on a cab, so he said he was asking what's going on. A lot of Indians across every channel, every road, and something is going on, cultural activities. That's what is happening here. API as well as the TANA convention is making that happen in this Philadelphia downtown.
Looks like a lot of Indians have invaded Philadelphia.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. That's additional to what you said. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Naveen. Here we have Dr. Trak Sha. He's from New Jersey and he is an oncologist.
That's correct. Yeah.
Welcome to our show.
Thank you.
Tell us, sir, this is the 41st AAPI convention.
That's correct.
And have you been attending this every year? And what is special this year?
Yes. No. So I've been coming off and on to these conventions, and I think what I found interesting is that Pandit Shiv Kumar, Ravi Shankar, Pandit Ravi Shankar. I hope that even Pandit Ravi Shankar, we met him today, and he just gave us an excellent example of how to balance the work life as well as the spiritual life. So it was quite interesting. Then there are also multiple lectures that we can attend. Obviously, you can do somewhat of meet with the people, make connections, and that's how we connect with people here. And obviously, API is a great organization, which is also very influential in U.S. politics and also in other areas where they influence.
Sure. You're an oncologist, so is
Yes.
there anything that you would like to share with our viewers?
Well, I think my field is quite unique. We have a lot of new treatments coming along. We have also what I find it very interesting is that actually that our immune system plays an important role in fighting lots of cancers. So obviously it's important that what we do to make our immune system better. So we should keep that in mind. Second thing is that actually that obviously stress, if you have a very stressful life, and it can influence your immune system. So you want to make sure that actually that you are having somewhat of a work-life balance. Third thing is that actually that most important thing about cancer is about the prevention. So there were also some lectures about prevention. So obviously it's important that that we keep that in mind, that there are various preventive methods. Those are available and people should follow them.
Thank you so much for your time.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr.
Yeah,
Shah.
no, thank you.
Here we have Manish Goel. He's not a doctor, but his wife is a doctor, and he is into finance.
So tell us something about finance and medicine, and how do they relate to each other? Welcome to the API 41st convention.
Thank you. It's good to be here. I can say from experience, my wife has been practicing over 20 years. Obviously, the money is very good for all doctors, any field of medicine, after they've studied and worked hard for a long time. But the balance of the work and family and their own mental health is very important, as we're figuring out the last several years. It's a challenge to balance everything, especially for the female physicians. I'm sure balance is hard for the males as well. But as my wife, more responsibilities for a lady, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Still a south of the border man's type of world, but they have responsibility to her parents, my kids, her job, our house, and to balance everything, we try to support as much as possible. But it's a good challenge, and with all the lectures today, especially from the Swami, who, meditation and taking care of yourself will help in that. So that's the biggest challenge that I see, is her trying to balance her busy work life schedule as well as her family and personal life.
Thank you.
For joining us
Thank
this
you.
evening.
Nice to meet you. Thank you, Mr. Goel.
With us, Dr. Ravindranath from New Hampshire, and he is an urgent care physician. Thank you for joining us this evening, and you are at the 41st AAPI convention.
I have a quick question for you. So, what are the challenges that you face in the medical field these days?
Yeah, I am trained as a family physician. I'm presently work mostly in the urgent care and also do some precepting, teaching the family medicine residents. So mainly, I moved away from family medicine to urgent care because the main challenge right now is handle management. That means we are given 2,000 to 3,000 patients, and we were asked to um, manage all of them. That means every patient comes in, we have to make sure they had their vaccinations, they had their colonoscopy, pap smear, and they talked about smoking, talked about anxiety, talked about depression, even if they come for sore throat. So
it's hard, isn't it?
right. So it's hard to do all those things, and so patients feel this. I don't want all that. I just want my sore throat, and then they get a big bill because we do spend more time. So they get a big bill, especially if they don't have insurance. Insurance companies like it because that you're doing so much.
Is it like a preventive maintenance?
Exactly.
Okay.
So you're doing preventive maintenance at the same time. So, and then most of the physicians now work for the companies like hospitals, other corporations. So they monitor you how much you're doing all this stuff more than necessary. And that's the big thing. And so you get too much paperwork.
As a common man, doctor, I feel very frustrated, very frustrated. So I always keep thinking, like, is there anything that you can do to find a solution to it? Why do you have to do the 9 yards when you can just address the actual issue? So what exactly do you think one can do? Are these kind of things being discussed at this convention? Because I know that this takes you to different levels. You can approach the Congress, and you can appeal to them. So I'm just wondering, like, what exactly is there anything that being discussed at all about these kind of issues? Because common man is the one who is really getting affected. The physicians, you can say I agree or disagree, but it hurts common man. So
the common man gets hurt mainly because the family physician or primary care physician can't get an appointment because he's doing so much. He keeps asking for more and more time. He's keeping asking for more and more time. So if a common patient can't get an appointment, if you say, oh, I want to see my doctor for something, and they're going to say, oh, your doctor is booked for 3 months. Mainly 3 months because he's spending too much time with
other patients,
other things and others. So what's being done is, I think it's going on process. I think at some stage they're going to cut down. They're adding more and more associate providers to help. And so hopefully it will come to a better stage in the future.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, doctor.
We have with us the Honorable Congressman Jonathan Jackson from the state of Illinois, who's also on the House Foreign Relations Committee and the House Agriculture Committee, who's been with us yesterday and today at both the TANA Convention and the AAPI Convention. Joining us today is Dr. Amish Shah, state representative from Arizona for the last 5 years, and he's having a bid for the U.S. Congress to join the Samosa Caucus. Dr. Amish Shah, what is your take on the AAPI Convention, and why are you running for Congress? And then we'll have Congressman Jonathan Jackson give you some hot advice.
I much appreciated. So the big thing for me is that I ran for office for the very first time in Arizona 5 years ago out of a spirit of public service. It is something that's really important to me to try to make the world a better place. Really, that's it. That's my why. I went out to that end and knocked on 15,000 doors personally to win my state house races, 3 in a row. And now it's time to make a bigger impact, especially in the world of health policy, where oftentimes it is at the federal level, not as much as the state level. And so my healthcare policy expertise, I hope, will help me be a member of the Democratic caucus and move health policy forward for all Americans.
Great. Congressman Jonathan Jackson, what's your advice to this young state rep?
Well, first of all, he's in the right place. He came to the TANA convention, came to the AAPI, and that's so important. He's connected to his community, connected to the grassroots, already has a body of work on public service. For that, I commend him. I applaud him. I've kept up with your races in the past, and it's your time. So congratulations in advance and continued success. And we need professional people that are willing to do something different in their life. He's had success in the medical field. Now he understands it's at the policy level. So he's putting aside his personal ambition to think of what he can do for the nation. And for that, we're all grateful.
Thank you.
So well said by Congressman Jonathan Jackson. So much good having you, Dr. Amit Shah, with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know,
We have the pleasure of meeting Dr. Shah, who is from New Jersey this evening. Welcome to the AAPI 41st convention.
Thank you.
All right, Dr. Shah, tell us something about your role in AAPI. What is the role that you play here?
Okay. I became an AAPI member, lifetime member, and this year I'm part of the souvenir committee. I'm a co-chair, and I'm a secretary for the New Jersey chapter, which is called Moan Kutty.
Many hats you seem to be wearing. Wow.
Yes. So the reason I got involved with AAPI is because I wanted to make sure that we bring out women in medicine and also taking medicine seriously. There's a lot of direction more towards male-oriented field. So we want more representation for females and to be leaders and be involved in different aspects of AAPI, which helps with lobbying or even just networking and getting a representation in Congress. So that's important to me.
That's a very noble cause. Thank you
Thank
so much, Dr. Shah.
Thank you.
Here we have Rekha Goel, and she's participating in AAPI 41st chapter. Okay.
Yes.
Tell us, other than networking and meeting your physicians, what are the one or two things that makes you come to this convention?
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here in the 41st annual AAPI convention. I'm an AAPI member for a long time, and I'm also we have a sub-chapter of AAPI called Mammoth Ocean County AAPI, and I'm a vice president of that Moan Kutty. I'm very excited to be here. We have a lot of physicians, healthcare workers here from all over the country gathered here, and it's an enlightening program. We have we are also developing research from here, a lot of CME activities, and also a cultural program. And it's very nice to see all the physicians all across the country here.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Good evening. We have with us the Honorable Congressman Jonathan Jackson. Thank you so much for. I'm good, thank you. So he was with us the last couple of days for the 23rd TANA, the Telugu Association of North America convention, as well as the AAPI 41st event convention. So tell us what exactly did you see in TANA, and tell us was it enjoyable?
Well, I've never been here before, and this is absolutely amazing. From the community from Telugu, to see so many engineers and people in the IT profession here with their families and children. We honor them and thank them for their 23rd
annual convention, and for the AAPI physicians
Indian origin.
that have come here starting in 1965 that are now filling in the gaps in so many communities. They've serviced the underserved people in the African American community and the poor communities. And so to be only 10% of the medical profession and now servicing 30% of the patients across the United States, you've made us stronger, you've made us better. And to see the two conventions here together, I saw the diversity, I saw the U.S. relationship, I saw our community strengthening together. And for that, I am so grateful to have been a participant.
So, Congressman, what are your key takeaways from these two conventions?
Well, there's been an enormous amount of projects. I like to put things in the historical context. There was Asian Exclusion Acts starting in the 1911 and 1917 and 1923. And now 100 years later, after the Asian Americans have been invited in, they have brought so much vitality. They share with us the gift they have of yoga, the gift of their food, and now the gift of their human resources and medicine and technology. And you're propelling Americans' industry forward. So to see the community come alive in such a very short period of time, and I have to think about this is the 41st year of the Physicians Association. Just imagine how we started 100 years ago, how much further along we'd be. So I applaud and congratulate the Indian American community.
We have, Navin Chandra, co-host, joining us. Navin, do you have a question for the congressman?
I just want to ask one question, Congressman. You are surrounding with a lot of Indians, and how do you feel about and what your thought process behind when people surrounded you about you?
Well, I think of the quote of Reverend Martin Luther King. He said, to many places he will visit as a tourist, but when he went back to India, he came as a pilgrim. So India, we recognize for your diversity, your culture, your history, your heritage. You are really the mother of earth in so many ways. And so when I come here, I see all the ideals of America. I see a flourishing democracy. I see a multi-ethnic society. I see people are being educated. I see India has turned towards a bright future, that they have taken the measurable steps to bring people that have been left behind, the least of those, and they have lifted them up. So the mind power that India has grown into, and they're exploding with it. We have not seen India's best days, and I am so glad to see India, although they're growing the fastest with the biggest economy, they're still in their infancy. Only God knows what else they have to contribute. And 2 weeks ago, I had the opportunity to be in Washington, D.C., and to see Prime Minister Modi, and that was awesome to see so much of the community come together. And he's making the mantra of make it in India, and they're going to lead the world. And I think that this is a bright horizon. I'm so excited to be a part of this 41st annual convention.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman.
Thank you.
Good evening. We have with us Ann Tani, the state senator from Ohio. Thank you so much. What brings you to TANA and AAPI?
Well, it's great to be here at TANA and AAPI. You know, like you said, I'm a state senator in Ohio. I'm the first Indian American and Hindu American state senator in Ohio history, as well as the youngest Indian American and Hindu American elected official in the country. So it's great to be here to support our community. I spoke at TANA about involvement in American politics, and obviously, you know, with AAPI and healthcare being so prevalent, I've sat on the health committee for many years in Ohio General Assembly, and so it's just great to be here in Philadelphia.
So I heard you speak in one of the panels. You had some great points. So what are your key takeaways from AAPI Summit?
Well, look, I mean, AAPI is one of the most prolific organizations for Indian Americans in the United States, and they do a great job. And obviously now, as COVID has calmed down, we're very grateful to all of our Indian American physicians who were on the front lines of COVID. But now we have to turn back to regular life and increasing and improving healthcare and the ability for our physicians to practice freely in every state in the country.
Okay. And what do you think are the highlights of the TANA convention?
Well, again, TANA also another, great Telugu organization, very organized, thousands and thousands of people, and really a sea of people. And I think, just the coolest thing about TANA is being able to be there and see, 10,000, 11,000 Telugu Americans, sharing in their culture.
And I did watch you in one of the forums where you were kind of encouraging youngsters to enter politics. Could you just say a few things about
Yeah, look, I am the youngest Indian American, Hindu American elected official in the country. I think it's incredibly important for our next generation to get involved. We know that those of you who immigrated built our community for us, and it's our job in the younger generation to now carry on and build that.
Thank you, Senator, for joining
Thank you.
us this evening.
Thanks for having me. We have with us Dr. Willie Underwood from Buffalo, New York. Dr. Willie Underwood is the chairman of the Board of Trustees of American Medical Association, the largest organized medicine society in the whole of America. Dr. Underwood is a urologist, and he's today with us at the 41st AAPI convention in Philadelphia. Dr. Willie Underwood, so nice to having you here along with our Congressman Jackson, who was earlier in the afternoon speaking very highly of you.
It is a pleasure. So our families go back a little bit, but we won't.
Great. First, we'd like to know what did you think of this AAPI convention? Is this the first convention you're attending?
Yeah, it's the first AAPI convention I've been able to attend, and I'm glad and thank them for the invite, the leadership. The meeting is awesome. The intelligence around the continuing medical education and the camaraderie and thinking about policy changes and how to move the health system forward and healthcare forward in this country is extremely important. So this is awesome.
Great, Dr. Underwood. You know that the American Association of Physicians of India, AAPI, is the second largest organized medicine body in the country after AMA. What is your piece of advice to strengthen AAPI to nurture in the American medical graduates of Indian origin?
So I think we're stronger the better, right? So together we're stronger. And the more we can work together and think about policies on how to, number one, make things better for IMGs, those of foreign medical grads. Also looking at transition periods. How do we create greater opportunities for the medical students and residents? And not only that, so how do we actually work together so that we can truly focus on how do we provide care for the poor, for the indigent, and for every aspect of our society. And that's our goal.
Great. Congressman Jackson, do you have any question to the chairman of the American Medical Association, Dr. Willie Underwood? Healthcare is on the transaction and the cross edges, I would say today, going on with the artificial intelligence entering the healthcare field. You being in the congressional policy, what would you like to ask the AMA chief, Dr. Underwood, today?
Well, first I want to say thank you to Dr. Underwood. Dr. Underwood comes from Gary, Indiana.
Oh.
So our families actually have known each other for many years. And so this was my biggest surprise, is to see Dr. Underwood here. And I thank the AAPI for inviting him here. This man is a neurologist, Dr. Underwood, who's gone through the ranks and gone to the highest level of the American medical profession. And so I want to say thank you. And now, in light of what's happened with this affirmative action ruling, how do we get more African-American doctors into the pipeline so we can continue to close this health care gap? This is care that is fundamentally missing, and you talk about that often.
Correct. So I think the first step is, so let's just step out of it.
Yeah.
Let's create a strategic plan on how we have a workforce that actually meets the needs of our society. That's number one. And part of that is to making sure that we increase by tens of thousands. We're only 4%, 12% of the population, 4% of physicians. So we have to figure out a strategy how when children are coming out of the womb, that they actually see that they could be physicians, but they actually have an opportunity to do so. And that's mean having a school system that actually works, having a healthcare system that is open and honest, allowing people to come in from different backgrounds and without discrimination, racism, or anything along those lines. And we focus on, number one, that we're creating an academic workforce. We're creating a medical workforce to improve the health outcomes of the nation. I think that's it. I mean, I think I got to tell you, I'm very impressed on what our brothers and sisters have done. from Indian origin in this country. And I think there's a lot to learn from them. And I'm looking forward to partnering together to figure out solutions on how that we all have a pathway so that we can improve the health care of this
I
nation.
just want to say about Dr. Underwood, he embodies the American dream. He comes from a steel town, yet all the resources were around him when he was growing up to nurture his curiosity in medicine. So we know there is a generation of African American doctors that can be tapped. Dr. Underwood is living testament to this. It wasn't easy for him, but he found a way because opportunity had been made available. And so thank you for your commitment to keep the opportunity open.
That's right. That's what we have to do.
Jonathan Jackson, keeping hopes alive. I think Dr. Underwood has given you a big task to do. Have you heard of the CHAMPS program, Dr. Underwood in Illinois, which nurtures young black men into the medical field, which run in the University of Illinois?
Yeah, actually, I gave a talk for them during COVID.
Yeah.
And it was a virtual discussion as well. Yes, I am from somewhere, I want to say very familiar with it.
Yeah, I think Congressman Jonathan Jackson wants to get this message, especially after the affirmative action was turned down by the Supreme Court, to take it across the nation to have this, exactly what you're saying, skill development for the young American black men and women to get further and higher education.
Yeah.
And make it access to the education more affordable and accessible.
Correct. And also we have to look at it from a fairness perspective, right? I used to say this to my classmates all the time. We're running a 100-yard dash. You started on the 75th line, and I started at 5 yards behind, and now we're running, and you beat me by 2 steps, and you saying you won by merit. I mean, that's not merit, right? You know, merit is we all have an opportunity, equal opportunity to compete, right? And then now the outcome is very fair, right?
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We want to talk. All right. Nice. Thank you.
My doctor.
Action-packed activity. Dr. Meer Mahad, who's our very own Chicago girl, as we say, with Congressman Jackson. And you all know Dr. Meer Mahad comes from Dr. Suresh Reddy University, is a mentor. So we'll have Dr. Suresh Reddy ask her the first question about her.
Thank you. And I'm Dr. Suresh Reddy, 36th President of National AAPI, and we have the Secretary here, President Secretary of AAPI. AAPI is the American Association of Physicians of Indian origin, representing the interests of almost 100,000 Indian physicians in the United States. And as you know, every 7th patient in the United States is treated by an Indian doctor. And how was the event today?
Oh, it's very good, spectacular, and we had overwhelming response. And the number of people attended, we had to almost close out. It's a closed out deal, and a lot of informational exchange, the CMEs, and we have so many CEO forums and all. It was very, very informative in exchange. And we have eminent political person and coming in from my hometown, it's even better. So,
how was the educational session?
Educational session was wonderful. We had in several different, all the faculties in terms of several, all the specialities and all. We were sharing information, new information, and so the CMEs were really outstanding.
And as you know, like AAPI is always looking for the younger generation, because we need to train the younger generation so they can take care of us when we get old. So how was the YPS and medical students and physician association working with you?
So we have a lot of, this time was overwhelming response from medical students, not only from US, but also we had a lot of students from India, and several poster presentations, oral presentations. And they had also some contests where they were winning, and we had faculty from here and had a exchange of academic people with the students. So that will be helping them for their future, residencies, training, and fellowships and that. So it was a very good exchange, and I think we look forward for all our younger generation to come in to this mainstream and be our future.
Yeah. So Congressman Jonathan Jackson, do you have a question to Dr. Meer Mahad, who's the Secretary of AAPI?
First of all, I want to say congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
What you have done here, and my good friend Dr. Redding, is absolutely remarkable to see how you've cared for the young people. And there's a pipeline that they've created for young people to be mentored and be brought along through the ranks, and the achievement in just 41 short years for AAPI to have come in through immigration in 1965, to have gone into all these urban markets and into the rural area, and the care that you have shown for those that are most disadvantaged around this country. I thank you personally. I know so many Indian physicians that work in my community. I'd like to thank my good friend, Dr. DJ Prabhakar, and also my good friend, Dr. Reddy, for the commitment they've done for the African American community during the time of COVID and long before that, and for your continued success. Congratulations on your election.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Like I was told that we have high-ranking officials from national medical boards, NBME, FTS, and all the AMA. Can you explain who came and who are the high-ranking officials?
So we had from AMA the president and also the board of trustee of the AMA. So that was very, very informative. This is the first time I think we had
Dr. Willie Wonderful.
Yes, so he was there, and we also had from ABFM also we had an internal medicine board. The president also was there. It was I mean, this is the first time I think we had quite a few academic and also higher officials from our professional associations. So that was very remarkable.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mayor.
We have mentioned in the past that we are trying to create, like we are supporting the minority institutions, and our goal is to establish medical school serving the minorities, African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Indian Americans, so that there will be more representation from that category.
Thank you. Thank you so much. When you are the president of AAPI, I'm sure Congressman Jackson will be there too. Thank you so much. And Ms. Thala Kumbam, Congressman, is creating wealth community centers. Community centers or wealth creation centers?
Wealth community centers.
Wealth community centers across America. Yes. Mr. Thala, could you tell us what has been your impactful day today at AAPI?
Yeah, today I'm so pleased to be part of this organization. And I came for TANA convention. I realized that it's a great organization to support going forward with AAPI, how I can do that is the kind of. And so I'm also part of helping the African American Youth Heritage Foundation. All, we are supporting the Austin side. And so, I mean, it's a great pleasure to be part of the great people. Like, he's my well-wisher, mentor, and support. And I always, I met you in New York also. Very pleasure to work with you. And going forward, we are taking the few more steps ahead. Identify the needy people who is hungry. Like, the older people need help. Younger people need help. Now, the middle generation, right? They're the need the opportunity. We have the opportunity to create the wealth for families. At the same time, we are going to create the wealth centers across the country, by it helps the country economy and community and everything. So,
could you tell the Congressman Jackson before his question to you how you could create wealth community centers and the African American communities in Chicagoland first and across America?
Yes. So we are going to identify the people who is needy looking for the opportunity, and we are going to adopt them, means take care of them and help them to get the government license, train them, build them as independent financial professional, so that they can help hundreds and thousands of people. So I'm happy and excited to have thousands of people to take care of them. Okay, startup cost, getting the license, everything, whatever it cost, I will be, taking care of that. So all I need is.
And Dr. Vijay, his work precedes him. The amount of things that you've already done, the commitment you've displayed to the African American community, showing people that no one is beyond wealth creation. Everyone can create wealth. And there's a very scientific formula you follow. Maybe you can share more about how you specifically recruit and pull people into your program.
Yes, exactly. So specifically, I'm looking identify the people and recruit them and train them, build them as independent financial professionals, so that it helps to build create the wealth for the families. Our mission is to create the wealth for families across the country, and that's where we play the key role, and looking for thousands of people. And this year we had targeted like 25,000 people. Already 6,000 people are on board and getting trained in the different communities, and another 20,000 people we are looking for it. And then only 6 more months, like 5 more months left, right? So we are there for you. And
the way you redirect the culture and make it essential to let people know that you have enough to invest.
Yes.
Think about your future. I love your long-term perspective.
Yes.
And how you're shaping future.
Yeah. So when it comes to the people who doesn't have enough finance and wealth, right? We are giving the opportunity and helping them to become rich. At the same time, who has the money great money, and we are giving the financial solutions
to protect the family, protect the wealth, and build the wealth and preserve the wealth. That's where we play the key role to, help everyone and anyone.
So AAPI has provided a forum for Mr. Thala Kumbam for his value financial services to talk about wealth creation centers across America, and he's trying to take Congressman Jonathan Jackson's dream to the African American communities throughout the first congressional district and in Chicagoland. Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. Let's work together. Good. Thanks.
Pennsylvania's own son, who is a very renowned psychiatrist, who heads the AAPI convention going on today in Philadelphia. Dr. Ravi Kohli, we are so happy to have you here along with Congressman Jonathan Jackson. As you know, Congressman Jonathan Jackson is the rising star, and he's the member of the House Foreign Relations Committee and the House Agriculture Committee. Tell us about how successful and spectacular, as we all know, the AAPI convention and your leadership has been.
I believe I've been a little bit biased. I think this is the best AAPI convention I have ever attended. Everything has been going clockwork on punctual time. We have guests that we all expected coming on time, which is unbelievable. They're important, special people. They have so many obligations, but they're here with us. They're enjoying our company. We are elevated by their company. With their presence, our event has gone beyond our expectation. One of them is Congressman Honorable Jackson, Jesse Jackson. Favorite son, I believe, Jonathan Jackson is here with us, and he's engaging with us so much. We feel like one family now. We feel like we're a Chicagoan. Can vote for you maybe one of these days. We feel like so blessed to have all these leaders, so down to earth, so well mannered, well gentle, and so generous and so gracious in their support and love for us. So we are really feel blessed. This event has been really phenomenally successful, I would say, beyond all our expectations. Because every time you do something, you're always apprehensive to the final results. But it has been fulfilling. It has been worth all our efforts we have put through, with all the anxieties that we have to go through. But it has been worthwhile, and everybody's enjoying it. That's what makes us happy.
President Ravi Kohli, you have set a new bar very high. Unparalleled leadership of yours brought the chairman of the Board of Trustees of American Medical Association, the largest and the oldest organized medical society in America, for the first time in the history of AAPI. You've also had the rising star Congressman Jonathan Jackson. You have Rahul Gupta from the White House, the Office of the National Drug Policy, who's going to join us tonight at the banquet. You had Sri Ravi Shankar earlier in the afternoon, who brought meditation and peace and teaching us how to balance our lives with a spiritual life of being mindset and one in unity. I mean, this has been a spectacular convention from all takes. To Congressman Jonathan Jackson, what would you like to talk about the convention and about the unparalleled leadership of Dr. Ravi Kohli?
Well, Dr. Kohli, I'd like to thank you in front of everyone. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for reaching out to members of the Congress. Thank you for reaching out to the chairman of the AMA. Your leadership is outstanding. You've made a great body grow even bigger, and the future is going to even be brighter under your stewardship. And as we're sitting here in Philadelphia, standing here in what should be the birthplace of our liberty, to see 41 years later, the AAPI come alive in so many ways. It's blossoming. It's just been 41 short years, and now you're seeing 1 in 7, you're 1 in 7 positions. You're seeing 30% of the indigent and poor across America. We're a better country because of Indian Americans that have come with the help of their knowledge in the sciences and physicians specifically, and you served our community. And I want to say thank you. I'm a beneficiary, and I appreciate it. And thank my
congratulations, Dr. Ravi Kohli. Thank you, Congressman.
Connecting us. Thank you, sir. We're following the tradition of Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Jesse Jackson, now the Jonathan Jackson. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.